Good work. We did it. Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Unreal Engine live stream where we're right on time with everything. Awesome. They don't need to know. Let's see here. Where was I? Right. Today on our live stream, we have Lina Halper here to talk about animation features in 4.14. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then we're going to be kicking off the December UE4jams theme and getting ahead with all that. But first, it's the news. Yay! All right,
Yay.
News. First thing, this is a big one. 4.14.1 hotfix is released. So over 50 issues are resolved in this. It's a lot of big stuff, a lot of just general crashes and whatnot. But a couple of small things for Visual Studio quote unquote 15. They updated the name to Visual Studio 2017 as we were putting the release notes out. So the release notes were, I guess, technically wrong, and there were some things that reference things a bit funny. So those have been fixed. There's a lot of stuff that's fixed in here. So go check it out. It's a good long list of stuff. Thank you, Stephen Ellis, of course, for posting all these details. You rock, buddy. All right, next up. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is going to be coming out in 2017. It's been announced here and a few other places, but it's a UE4 title, as was the previous Street Fighter game. So this is going to be a lot of fun to check out. I'm a huge fan of Marvel vs. Capcom. Come down to the blog and read over this amazing post. You'll see a lot of great details. The rendering is on point. This is great. It's really great. So anyway, if you're a Marvel vs. Capcom fan or just a fan of great rendering, come and check out this blog post. Next up, MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries announced. MechWarrior 5 is going to be another UE4 title. It's awesome. And if you're a MechWarrior fan, you'll be happy to hear that not only are they focusing on multiplayer, but there should actually be a really cool single-player campaign coming to this one, which is something they haven't done for a few versions. They've mostly focused on multiplayer only. So come and check out this blog post if you're a big fan of giant robots that fight each other, or rendering, or good games. You know, it's an awesome blog post. So check this one out. Very cool. Next, once again, we have a really amazing marketplace update. I feel like we've doubled the amount of stuff in the marketplace over the course of just the past couple months. Check out what's there in November, since we do these a month behind. So you can see tons of new animations and blueprints. Characters, though, that's kind of where they put a lot of work in here. We got a lot of new character packs and environment stuff. So that's very awesome. Check out all the new things that came out. This is all up on the blog, unrealengine.com/blog, and I will have it all listed out in the description after everything is said and done and posted up on the YouTube archive. So check the description for more. Oh my goodness, the list goes on and on forever. Awesome work. Thank you to Adam Davis, Stephanie Markov, and all the people who make this happen on the Marketplace team. Really good job. Next up here. So, that's it for the news today on our Community Spotlight. So first things first, we'd like to say thank you to everybody on the Answer Hub. If you come out to the Answer Hub at answers.unrealengine.com, you can ask questions or give answers to game development questions. And if you do awesome at that, giving answers and whatnot, then you get upvotes, and those upvotes translate into karma points. These karma points let people know that you're really nice and friendly and helpful, and in exchange, you also get put on the high scoreboard for the week. This is basically an accumulation of the past 7 days, if you're not familiar with it, an accumulation of your karma. And the people that earn the most in a week's time show up here, and it's really cool. We actually now have a new person's name on here I don't recognize, so Ramadage, I think that's right. Lina, help me.
Well, I don't know if I can help you.
Okay. Clint? Ramage?
What?
No, I don't think that's right. I think it's Ramage. I don't think it's Ramage. You're saying it too French.
We can
I don't
vote.
know. So congratulations on being top this week. Shadow River, Noobs to Shroobs, you guys rock. You guys are always up on here. At this point, I think I'm going to have to come up with like a super prestige badge because you guys prestiged a while back, and at this point I think you've like double prestige. I'll just have to get more stars to attach to it and like a unicorn and cats and stuff, like so you do more and more fun stuff shows up on your badges. But yeah, and thank you so much to everybody else who's on this list or anyone who comes out here to ask questions and help each other out. It's just really awesome to see this work happen in real time. So thank you. Next up, Community Spotlight. Papow. First things first, we have a video, and then I'm going to talk to you about these things. Clint, video. Awesome. Are we? You like Twitter, Forum PM, if you can reach me through whatever, send me a message saying, hey, I found something cool, you might like it. I'm muted.
I got it.
Oh, whoops. Am I back in? Okay. Okay, I'm going to reiterate all the thingies. What I had said was, Christopher Schindler did an amazing job rendering this. It's really fantastic. It reminds me a lot of Kula's work, but if you or anyone you know is working on something really awesome like this, feel free to send it over to me and let me know through Facebook, Twitter, Forum PM, however you can reach me. Let me know you found something neat, and I might just highlight it up here. So I have a few more things in my queue that won't be showing up here, but it'll be in a future stream. And yeah, so sorry about all that weirdness with the audio there. I know you're all still reacting to it. Very funny. Haha. So let's see here. Right. Christopher has a really great ArtStation post here. It's just this UE4 RDT demo is what he's calling it. But as you can see, it's very impressive, very powerful stuff here. And whoops, he does some other really cool stuff. But and also, yeah, this is another UE4 demo, isn't it? He really does great. I want to say that he's actually using photogrammetry techniques here. Whatever he's using to create these rocks is on point,
Amazing,
just
yeah.
fantastic. It looks hyper realistic. Like it's just great. I love stuff like this and the work that Kula does. Anyone else who's doing anything hyper realistic in the engine, I also want to check that out. So very cool. Great work, Christoph. I called him Christopher and it's Christoph. I just noticed that. So Christoph, excellent work. Pew. Next up, shape rockets. Cool. So I think I might have mentioned this a little while back in another one of our streams, but this is a game that I think came across my table from several different people because it's one of those innovative concepts with simple design. It's essentially rock, paper, scissors as a first-person shooter where you play as different geometric shapes. You fire different colored missile attacking things, but really it's kind of an odd concept. It's very abstract in a sense that you have to be in this sort of void-like space full of particles and lights and shapes. And you are flying around trying to essentially blow up your friends who are other shapes that are of other colors. And it has a rock, paper, scissors style build to it where you can change your color / shape once every certain amount of intervals. And then, if you're not careful and maybe they fake you out and you think they're going to change into like scissors, and so you're like, okay, I'll become rock, and then they don't change at all, and now you're rock and they're paper, and now you're doomed and whatever. But very interesting concept for a shooting game, and also the visuals are just very, very particle heavy, and then simplified geometry style. So it's a unique look. So take a look, shape rockets. Actually, I don't know if it's included in here, but there's several really interesting articles written about it in a couple different gaming online publications. So it's neat. Next up. Haha. If you go to steamcommunity.com/group/UE4games, you can see that there is actually a UE4 Games group. I think I tweeted about this one before, and I've mentioned it in a couple of chats and places, but this is interesting for people who like UE4 as an engine and want to play UE4 engine games to get an idea of the versatility of them, and also, you want something that's got a lot of high-quality rendering features, then maybe you choose us here. But this is just a straight-up list of games that are coming out or have already come out, 2016 to 2017. It's a pretty sizable list, but if you go through it, you'll notice that there's actually quite a few things that aren't listed here that you may know about. So you want to get into contact with these guys, let them know that your game or a friend's game or a game that you like is not on the list, and you want to get it added. So, wow, this list is actually a lot longer than last time I looked at it even. But yeah, so it's a good way to get yourself promoted or another thing promoted, but it's also a good way to find UE4 games. So that's an interesting group. Thought it was really cool to share that. If anybody knows about a curator group or anything like that too, just let me know. I'm really interested in seeing these kind of things getting formed, and if you know how to reach out to anybody who's thinking about forming stuff like that, give me a ping. Let me know, because I'm interested in helping support this and spreading the word. So that's what we have for the community spotlight. Check out all the cool stuff, and now we have an awesome special guest with us today. Lina, that's you.
Hi. I would just know. Okay.
But we have a ton of new animation features in 4.14. They're very powerful. Oh, you can have this.
Okay.
I know you're eyeing it like, I really need this, Alex. Just give it.
I feel weird not having stuff.
There you go. You feel a lot better now that
Yeah.
I have one thing. You got yours now.
Yeah, I want
it's very
something
fair.
to press.
So, so we have a PowerPoint presentation here and also some 4.14 notes. So you can just drag that over here.
Okay.
And then wait, not the whole thing.
No, I know. I was no, not that whole thing.
There we go.
There you go.
And I think there's a present. There you go.
Button. Yay. Okay.
Cool. All right, main screen turn on.
Okay.
Oh, nice. That was a good
Sweet.
graphic.
So I'm going to talk about the 4.14 new animation features, and this time I made a slide. Might be easier and more organized. So the things I'm going to talk about, this is the items, animation editor changes, and post-process anim graph,
Mm-hmm.
and child anim montage, and animation curve window. If you don't see anything in this list, it might feel free to ask me in the Q&A later. So I'm gonna move on to the topic.
Yep.
So the first thing, the big change in the 4.14 is the animation editor change. So before it used to be one big editor that you can see animation, you can see mesh, you can see skeleton and everything, and you can move between.
Yep.
But now we split that to all individual editor. So now you see skeleton opening new editor,
Yes.
mesh opening new editor, and in blueprint is a separate editor. And the reason it become that way was before the issue was that if you want to look at the same animation playing on different mesh, you couldn't do it.
Oh, yeah. So if you want to see the same animation, and yeah, you had a bunch of
Different
them
kind of
lined up,
variation,
then
yeah.
you have to constantly flip back and forth.
Yeah.
And now you can just put them side by side.
Yeah.
That's really helpful.
Yeah, that's actually really, so those things. So it was kind of like a pipeline issue. They have a hard time comparing between different kind of mesh, different animations together on the side by side.
Yeah, it really solves that pipeline issue. I can see that.
So there was a huge one, but it was a huge change. So Tom worked on this for a while. Big kudos to him because it was a huge work. Lots of things, just all the workflow of the frame,
Yeah.
the foundation changing is always like painful and difficult work. So, so that's the reason. So you can see here just the default layout for each mode. So not each mode, sorry, each editor. So skeletal mesh, animation blueprint. Now you can see they open separate way. However, you still can navigate between quickly because that's the huge thing in animation system where you want to see mesh, you want to also see the animation playing on this mesh. And you want to also see open quick animation on different window.
Yeah.
And all those things had to kind of flow each other.
Yeah.
And the flow is kind of important. So
Can we go back one frame?
yeah, sure.
Yeah, if you look what you're talking about here is that little tiny bar in the upper right of each of these 4 panels is where the old
The mode window.
Yeah, the old multiple window.
The mode
that
window.
one. Yeah, so now it's just that you click and it still works that same way, but you
Yeah.
can separate out the windows if you want.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. Basically, it's just a lot more versatility to how the UI works.
Yeah, it is actually. It is a lot better because we don't have this kind of system in anywhere else in the editor either. So for newcomers coming and they don't understand how they navigate between, but now we do it this way, they can actually just see, okay, I open animation, now I can click that to open something else. And yeah, so it flows better.
Yeah, it's a good usage of the frames.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to point out that's what's the major difference there.
Yeah, actually, that's kind of a bit odd maybe for some people who are used to old interface might see that as some confusing, but it is still almost same as before. You can just open new window very quickly. So one of the things we did that is now in this window, before record was in like a top window toolbar, but now record is in every the scrub bar.
Oh.
So
Wait, where is it?
it's
so
this guy. It's hard to see.
Oh, okay.
This
oh,
guy,
the
I was
actual-
talking about this record bar.
Yeah, the record bar. Yeah.
So it is the one that now work with every viewport scrub stuff. Any kind
Oh,
of
I see it
scrub
there.
thing.
Yeah. Now
all
that
of
you,
this thing
now
has
that you
in there.
hovered over that little
I know.
icon, you can kind of
I
see
need
that
to
there's a
laser
tiny
point
icon.
the visual laser point. Yeah.
I know that this was actually like the biggest picture that we had of it too, and it's not very large. But yeah, it was like this is a stitched together image.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see what you mean. And then you can just record out of any of them once you like what it looks like. You don't have to go to the correct window.
Yeah. So and preview, now we have a new thing called a preview scene setup where you can actually just change the current to default setup. So I show you quick of how that works.
Yep.
So I see if I can open just some quick
1 second. We're opening things on the other
opening
screen.
something. Sorry. Okay, we are gonna get there soon. Where did it go? Okay.
Is it a window?
I think
Minimized.
so. Yep.
Yep, there it is.
There you go. So
Aha.
now, if you look at it, that's just the mesh view. So mesh view just shows the mesh detail information, and that's what it used to do in the old mesh mode. And now you can click animation, and it opens a new animation. And it still works like this. So you can still navigate between different animations in one window. But say like if you want to open new window, then you
Yeah.
can just go open new guy. So you can compare between side by side.
Oh, okay.
Oh, if I can ever go here. Oh, damn it. Sorry,
Lina.
I'm trying to show side by side, but you can do like that.
Yes.
And then blueprint, you can also do this, and then so it just minimized a lot of it solves a lot of problem that used to be with one window. So that's a huge thing. By the way, so one question we get a lot is how do I change the preview mesh? And that option now is in here, the scene setup. Now here you can change the current to, say like you have 5 different mesh and you want to change to another mesh, then you can change it here. This one doesn't have any option because this is only one mesh. But if we have more than one for this skeleton, then you can also see it here.
I see. So it's just that little drop down in the upper left of the viewport, and that's called
it is
scene setup. And then you have, so it's called scene setup, and then there's another menu called scene setup underneath it.
It's sorry, I'm sorry. We're working on that.
It's scene setup inception.
Well, so this setup is for every editor viewport, and this second one is very specific to current animation editor. That's why it's separate. We are working on polishing this window, so it's more discoverable. You can discover quickly, and hopefully it's gonna get better. But I wanted to show you, because so many people will look for this option. So that's the one. This one. So you can see in the viewport menu and then scene setup. So move on to next one.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, so that's the animation editor change. And another item, this which is actually really sweet, is the post-process anim blueprint.
Oh yeah, this is a really sweet new feature for sure.
Yeah, it is the one that can set it. It's like a post-process that can run a mesh every time that does something. So I show you example. It's hard to explain.
We'll just show them.
Okay, so I show you example of it, then you'll probably get what I meant by this. So say like I made this blueprint called Sleepy. It's kind of funny.
It's called Sleepy the animation.
Because I made an anim dynamics on the head, so it's kind of like a swings around, but at the end it looks sleepy now.
He's so sleepy. Aww.
So say you made this blueprint, and then you want this blueprint to be active every time you see this mesh. Say you do that, like I wanna run this blueprint all the time whenever you play this, whenever you use this mesh. So you can do this by going here, and since I selected this, oh shoot, I cannot show whole thing together. Okay, since I selected, I closed this guy. I selected this guy in here, so in the mesh detail panel, you are going to see new options, say post-process anim blueprint.
Yeah.
And here you can set this blueprint.
Oh, and that's it. So it's just where it says post-process, you click it, and then
it just works every time now. So say like now, I want to use this mesh to animate something in the level. Then you can go to the anim sequence. If I can find any animation.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I need the same guy. Because it's this guy, maybe. Is this guy same guy, right?
I think so. Looks like the standard guy.
I know. I hope it's right. You see that?
We'll get flying closer to him. I want to get a good look at that. Wow. Well.
Yeah. So this is the example of it. So whether you play animation or you can just run. So yeah, it's like this post process is something that runs all the time. So it can be set on the skeletal mesh, and it will run all the time on that component whenever you use the mesh. And this is useful to do something like floppy bits or physics or
Flappy bits. No, that's what we were in another animation stream, and I found out this is a thing internally. Our animation people all say flappy bits when they have, it's like you have gold chains or something, or like weird like bits of something or that, and they just call them flappy bits, and it just always.
That was like a global term. No,
is it global?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
We're making it global. Floppy bits.
I'll make sure we add Wikipedia.
Yeah.
So anyway, so it's just something that like you want to do all the time. So or you can do something like IK if you have a certain point that you want to apply all the time.
No, does this get expensive if you have like 100 plus characters with it? Amzanity's asking.
Well, I mean, it's same as any animation blueprint. It's
Yeah.
gonna run all the time. So yeah, it can get expensive same way. If you do crazy expensive stuff, it's just same as running any blueprint. Now we are just running 2 of them.
Okay.
So their cost comes with it. Nothing is free.
Yes.
Anything that shows the difference can be usually cost. So. So it will run after so you can actually have another animation blueprint on top of this one. So yeah, so you can do similar thing like if you say I have a blueprint for that guy, there's just another sleepy thing. So yeah, if you have any other blueprint, you can use it on. It's still gonna work. So.
Abatron asks if we can rename the editor for Anim Dynamics to Flappy Bits. This is a good suggestion.
You mean for the post-process graph?
No, for just all Anim Dynamics. Calling it Flappy Bits.
Oh, I see.
You put in a pull request
we
for
can
that.
Totally do that.
I'll ask around.
So yeah, this has some. This is normal Anim blueprint, but they look same. Actually, this is different. I gotta choose something else. But anyway, so that's the idea. You can do. So yeah, it's good way to apply for everything you have.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a kind of cool way to do it.
Yeah.
The limitation right now is this runs before physics.
I was actually about to ask, how does collision work with this? Like if I have this post process of the head dangling off, and then like something clips like where the head should be here, or should it hit here? Like which is gonna hit?
Well, for that problem, if somebody shooting the trace through it, it's gonna run on the floppy one.
Okay.
But the animation, the one I was talking about, Anim Dynamics, they don't have a collision.
Oh.
They only work with the constraint or cones of angle limitation, or we have a planar, like a plane that actually limits it, so you can actually make it don't go beyond of this like a shoulder, not the shoulder, spine behind of that. You or fold that like a ponytail. If you have a ponytail, you don't want ponytail to ever come through your spine.
Oh, okay.
Right?
I think we've all played a game where like the cloth goes through the wrong direction and like passes through a person. So yeah, you want to put up planar limitations that are built within the actual like structure of it versus just hoping that the physics will take care of everything for you. Got it.
Anim Dynamics is doesn't work with our physics system, but it's just its own simulation of a very lightweighted simulation internally. So we don't have to wait for physics to simulate, or we don't have to do it's expensive. Like it's very lightweight. So Ben worked on this one, and this looks amazing. I was playing with it for this one, but it was really cool. But one thing to remember is that this doesn't work if you apply after physics. It's still before physics, the real physics. So if you are really simulating one of the arms or something like that, or ragdoll, then it's not gonna work great with it. It's gonna run before that ragdoll is running.
Okay, well that kind of actually touches into a question Comrade Headclot had asked, just sent over. So Headclot was asking, can the animation-based Flappy Bits be triggered by an event, such as a sword hitting an arm, for example? So this kind of, where you've created a post-process here, could this be turned on and off by an event?
You can do that based on so this Anim blueprint is the same as where did it go? So this Anim blueprint right now, the way it's set up, I show you the way it's set up. So there's just something we added in the 4.13 that's called the sub Anim instance, and there was like the Anim instance that can be added as inside of the another Anim blueprint. So if you look at the sub Anim. Yeah, there is something called the sub Anim instance, and what is? Yeah, it is. Ben did a demo on this one. Go back, look at the Twitch.
Oh, that's the one that Ben came on and showed off.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in this one, we are using this thing called the sub graph input, and what that does is it's grabbing the input from the previous graph, and it's feeding to that. But basically, what I was gonna say, that's how this works. So this is feeding the data from previous graph.
Oh, okay. So
And-
so you just kind of bring the sub-anim
Yeah, the
instance in.
other graph runs it. So like say that you're playing animation,
Mhm.
it plays, and that input goes to this graph.
Okay.
And then this graph will do whatever the anim dynamics or
Yeah.
look at or something they want to do. So
Yeah.
anyway,
And
so
you can control that through the alpha also if you wanted to get
Yeah,
like
yeah.
really tight.
That's
with
what
it.
I
So
meant.
at that point, yeah, you're just controlling an alpha through the blueprint.
yeah, so in that case, it's the same. Like you can add a variable for if you want to activate it or deactivate it.
Okay. So
And that
yeah.
activation, deactivation, you have to set it through the instance.
Yeah, just
for-
just making a driver to set the instance.
Yeah,
That
right.
makes perfect
that value.
sense.
Yeah. So that's basically it's the same as anim blueprint. So
Mhm.
you can do like variables and stuff. It will have maybe some edge case breaking, like something is not working properly.
Yeah.
But
There's always
yeah,
edge cases.
there's
yeah.
always something.
Yeah, always edge cases. And when there is an edge case, always come out to our forums or Answer Hub to ask about it.
Yes,
Yes.
and add bug and stuff. So anyway, that's the one. Post plus anim blueprint. The next one is the child anim montage. So this is kind of unusual because what's child of anim
Yeah.
montage?
What would that be? A child anim montage.
So the anim montage contains so many options of features.
Mhm.
Like it has notified. It has. Oops, sorry about
This
that.
is-
I'm used to clicking mouse.
You really want to show it who's boss.
I need the laser point. Okay.
Okay.
For the digital. All notified sections, tracks, there are like a lot of things to be added. Like if I show one of the example of a montage, I
Mhm.
think that's just one of the problem with it's cool that it has so many features inside, but also it's very heavy.
Yeah.
So say like you have this I'm gonna show you in a minute. Once
Loading.
this opens
A
up,
punch.
85%.
Huh?
It's opening up really quick soon. Okay, so say you have this anim montage. It's awesome. It looks amazing, and it's ready to go. Now, if you wanna make a variation of this anim montage, then what's happening is
Mhm.
it's a lot of work. You can duplicate it, and you can start to on top of that you can modify. But what about you change the source anim montage? It's just they're like so like there's this information in the montage. It has
Yeah.
like sections and lots of animations.
It's ton. It's like
Yeah.
I could see how that could be overwhelming when you have
Yeah.
too much going on at
And
once.
also you can add a slots, different slots, and so
Mhm.
it can be so heavy. And this is very important for lots of gameplay purposes. Like if you have a gameplay linked to this attack, and you have all this set up, and you want to have a second attack, but to do second attack, you have to make basically the same thing again, and you have to
Mhm.
do the same thing over. And what if you change the game mechanic?
Mhm.
So now you have to go back, change the two montages at the same time.
Yep.
So the reason of child anim montage is so that you don't have to create everything every time, but you can replace the animation asset. So yeah, this is created from another anim montage. It inherits all notified sections, tracks, slots. It allows to override the animation asset. That's the only thing it does. Sadly, and maybe that's a good thing, but basically that's all it does.
But that's actually really useful. I could see how. Okay, so you have this example here of a guy punching, right?
Yeah.
So you take this base punch and you create a series of children of it, and then you
Mhm.
have ice punch, fire punch.
Yeah.
You know, and so you just have different timing of the notifications because maybe
Yeah.
you want the fire to be on way earlier than when the ice only shows up when you hit, and
Right.
little details like that. It's easy to make tweaks now.
It is easier, but you can only tweak right now animation.
Yeah.
It is because so if you create I just did this right click and
Mhm.
then create child montage, and in here if you open child anim montage,
It kind of
then-
gives you like a little warning. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, you can only do so much here.
right, because I was thinking people will be so upset that they couldn't do stuff, and they'll be very like angry about it. So anyway, so you are not gonna be able to edit anything else. You cannot edit sections or anything like that, but you can change animations here right now. We talk about supporting other stuff here, but we haven't really come up with anything yet. So for example here, I only replaced the animation.
Mhm.
One of the section to be walk animation now, and you can go back by right click and revert to parent. So you can go back, but you can also do again. So So you can change it to different animation. The way this works, though, it is a little weird because the way it works is we don't want to ever change the length of montage because the length is very important. So what we do is we scale that animation to fit in the slot size. So in the parent, say like you had this much of a slot and playing say like a really fast animation now go here, you might see slow because the source animation is too short or something like that.
Okay, so you have to definitely pay attention to what you're swapping out and make sure that the timing is right on them. Otherwise, you're going to end up seeing some weird shifts. Well, actually, he just hit play on this. This is a good example of some weird timing. Like,
the timing is weird, right?
Yeah, the weird hop because it's still not completing the animation. It's trying to move into another one way too quickly.
Way too quickly. So it is, well, it's scaled, just and the animation doesn't work actually technically because like backwards and forward. But maybe I'll
he kind of has like a bop going on. I think he's got some.
He's very busy right now.
Oh wow! Now he's just straight up breakdancing. I'm jealous. These are some moves.
Yeah. So, but you can preview different sections, but you can do all the things. So.
Wow, he is jamming out. Look at him go.
That's what they can do. We cannot do that fast.
Like he's really going to town, man.
So anyway, so that's an example of it. But say, for example, you want to add notifieds now, right? You want to add notifieds here.
Yeah. And someone had just asked about notifies and how exactly this would work. So
notifieds, you still cannot add notifieds only into the child. But say like you add it to the parent.
You can alter how they work in the child?
Not yet, but
working on it. Working on it.
Not yet. But like the point is though, like usually you don't want that here. If you wanna add a notify that visually something changes. Oh God, did it crash? Oh.
No, you just paused it.
Oh,
it just had to
God,
load.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's compiling
that.
shaders. Your first instinct is super pessimistic. It's just compiling shaders. This is
I
great,
know,
everybody.
It's getting there, but it looks very pretty right now.
It's super pretty with the expanding gray tiles.
So the one thing I want to mention is if it's just visually pretty or not, you want to edit and notify it into the animation itself, not to the montage. What you want is, so let's say you create this notified now, right? You go back to the open the child, then the child will have the same montage, same notified in that time frame. Because it's child montage now has the same notified. So what I want to say is any something pretty or particles or sound that only has to go with this motion, then you want to put the notified inside of animation, not in the montage.
Not in the montage, but in the animation itself.
So that way, because if you say like I open this guy, right? I open this walk left, and then you add notified, it still should work fine. So, but most of the notified you put in the montage is something like gameplay related. Like I want to hit some, like hit damage or some kind of those notified, which is very important for gameplay. So, so that's that's what we use for Paragon, the skinned heroes, because we don't want to mess up gameplay.
Oh,
we want to make sure gameplay always works as intended.
Yeah.
So the attack timing, everything is exactly same, but we only change animation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what that is.
So, okay, pro tip about Paragon. Everyone fires, like you click and it's the same duration until the actual fire happens.
Well, not for whole heroes, but for each hero, whenever they have a separate skins.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things.
That makes a lot of sense. So when you're looking at, you can tell that there's quite a bit of difference between the standard Gideon and is it like Undertow or what's it called? The pirate skeleton?
The skeleton.
It's Undertow Gideon? Okay, Undertow Gideon, and you can see that there's massive differences in what's happening, but everything has to fire at the same time.
Yeah.
And that's how you stay competitive in the esports scene. Is everything has to always be beat for beat the same.
Because you want to make sure gameplay doesn't break. Whenever you have this, the second option, so you don't want to break a gameplay, so you want to make sure everything works intended without testing every single case. So anyway, that is child and montage. So next one. oh, this is just small, this and that is a small and editor change.
Oh yeah, but they're really nice. I love morph target. It's
the
a fun
viewer?
thing. It was like one of the first things I learned in animation, so I just like the feature a lot.
So the big thing is all the curve types are now in the animation data. So
Yeah.
in the skeleton. So what that means is if
He should have some morph targets on him
oh
too.
he does actually.
Yeah, because his nose
You're right.
grows and
Yeah, he does
goes
have
back
morph
in.
target. So if I open there's a window now called anim curve.
Anim curves window, and that's just out of the Windows drop down.
Yeah. So okay, let's
And then
stop
it-
this
And you can
crazy
see like
fire.
here in the bottom right, next to
Yeah.
Asset Browser, in that very bottom right panel, that's where Anim Curves
Yeah,
is
this
now.
is anim curve. And if you notice it, there's two icon now. And the first one is the morph target. And second one is material.
Mhm.
Before, these options were inside of animation. So if you go before, what it used to do is in the animation data. This doesn't look like any. Oh, this is animation. So sorry, anyway. Before in the here, like you can edit and you can change the options here. It used to be here before, but now it's in that curve window. And what it does is here you can change what kind of type it is, or you want to drive a material or not. The problem we were having with this was the old method was if you have one animation set for morph target, the other
Yeah.
animation set for non-morph target because somebody forgot to check the flag.
Oh.
Then it was a conflict and stuff.
Yeah.
So we had lots of those issues.
Yeah. I could see how that could be a thing, especially if you're exporting a lot of different stuff. Some
Yeah.
of it's going to have morph targets, others aren't. And if you just take the auto complete form, then it might not remember to bring over that checkbox.
Yeah, so now there's only one place for doing it, but while we are doing it, we're thinking, why do we need to even morph target checkbox? Because we
Yeah.
already know morph target.
Yeah.
Only case is you happen to make a same curve name as morph target by mistake. And you don't want that. But it's very unusual case. So anyway, now morph target is by default, but you still can see it, so you know which one is morph target. So you can see this one is gonna create the morph. So that's the curve editor thing. So what's cool with this one now is, well, this one is not really good example.
Well,
Where's
yeah, it's not the
where's
curve isn't being
Pinocchio?
driven,
Yeah.
right? So you need something to
did I type right?
Pino
P-I. Oh, what's the Pinocchio? Is it?
Pinocchio. Yeah, it's called. It's
Oh,
under.
morph. I think it's morph example actually.
Is it?
Yeah. I think.
Ah, you would think they'd keep with the naming convention.
I know. The naming convention, which
What?
is
No, this
I
is
think,
definitely not Pinocchio. Wait,
No.
or maybe no, it is. It is.
it
You're
is
right.
Pinocchio. Yeah.
It's like
He's like,
this
I'm
is
lying.
the pit. It's like the pit check.
Pit
and then,
check. I'm like, oh, I don't smell, and then oh, it turns out I smell actually. Oh,
You know, I found out that Alan Willard was
Oh,
like
I
one of
said
the
it to
primary
be-
guys working on the original like Owen stuff, like way back when. And so now I have to ask him, was it his idea to do the pit check as an animation for demoing? Like who was it that was like
I think Ray actually. Ray Arnett.
Arnett?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
I remember when he was making this, he was like, "What am I doing? What should I do?" I'm like, "Some funny Pinocchio." I'm like, "Sure,
Yeah, sure. The
but-
little
yeah."
gotta make sure.
So it's cool because now you can see what curve data it is coming in. Like so, you can see now it's 1 now, but I made a mistake turning off. If you type this value to be like 0.3, it's gonna stuck there, but it's gonna turn off auto button,
Yeah.
so that it's not gonna change anymore because that's what we are giving them, saying this is the value because I wanna preview it.
Uh-huh.
But say you want to go back, then you can just do this. Then it's going to go back to... So auto means whatever the value is coming up from animation system is going to display.
Okay.
If you turn that off, you can control the value.
Okay, so yeah, basically auto just means like go with what you've
Yeah,
set up in the
right.
curve editor there versus I just want to know what it looks like at a specific number.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's that. If I show the morph target, the editor quick, the change. So morph view, we have this morph view, morph target list, but now we have an option to see what kind of vertex it's changing. So this one, if I see it, this might be harder to see because this is gonna be only nose.
Now we can zoom in on his face.
Does it? Oh, there you go. I'll use a compiling shader. Use a company shader. So you can see that's
Ooh,
the
there's some
fun-
artifacts on his neck.
Yeah, actually that's bug.
Oh no.
No, I meant bug. I guess the original source had something different.
Yeah,
original asset.
I bet you somewhere along the lines when they made this asset originally, they accidentally
Oh
grabbed.
yeah, see, it
Yep,
changes.
they accidentally grabbed a vert or two.
Yeah.
On the neck.
Yeah.
And they were probably. I wonder, is it on the other side? I bet you they were looking at it from one side. Did it grab?
right.
I know exactly what happened here.
Oh, I see it.
They grabbed the nose with like a drag select and clipped a couple things through.
And then just drag it at the same
and
time.
just built it all from one direction, thinking, this will be simple. All right, people, this is a lesson in making sure you're thorough and checking your verts. This is very
Yay.
important.
Good
we all
lesson.
learned something.
Lesson of the day. So anyway, so that's the curve editor. Now you can see everything, and you can add a curve there too, by the way. So make sure if you want to add a curve, add here and save skeleton. Make sure save skeleton. So test curve. Oops. Okay, I'm terrible at typing. But if you do that now, add a curve, and it should show here. Of course, you can still do like add a new curve and then create a new curve, and it is still work. But I'm saying if you just want to do that, then you can do it there.
Yes.
Okay, so
very
that's
easy.
the one. And this one was a community contribution from beginning. So from GitHub, that's TMIV is the username. So this was actually community contribution.
TMIV, yeah.
That's username.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, I don't know how to pronounce Tmiv, but I think it's TMIV
ask me.
probably.
So okay, so that's the feature. So it's pretty cool. So the last two I'm gonna do really quick. This is a little advanced feature, but somebody asked in the forum, so I added this too. So one is pose driver.
Yeah.
So pose driver is interesting because it's kind of it sounds cool, but people don't know how to use this properly. And thanks to awesome Danny from our team made a demo for SF for us.
So that's you wanted to do a shout out to Danny
Yes.
Buimad?
Yeah.
Buimad. We were actually sitting here trying to figure out Bouimad. We were not entirely sure if we wanted to like make sure it was said right, but Danny's done a lot of great work here with the pose driver.
Yeah.
And we've done a previous stream on the pose driver before. We talked about it a little bit, but a lot of new stuff came into it, a lot of improvements.
But please go back and watch James Golding's Twitch stream because that actually explains how you can set up and how you can do stuff. But I just explain again here, just quick, what kind of change it's made. So the pose driver is it's like a RBF node in the Maya that it basically works based on multiple inputs to multiple outputs, and you map using different kind of way of mapping. But the new change made to the pose driver is before it was more like I think now bone transform can drive different outputs. So it's using pose bone transform. So you are using pose asset, and you use the pose asset to from the input to drive those pose assets. I show you example.
Okay.
I know it's hard to explain. The most common case of this is the shoulder.
Yeah, we've shown that the shoulder blade animation before, where you kind of see how it kind of moves with it, but not in a standard way.
Yeah, because the problem is the rigging itself is not just one skinning is not enough to cover all this range of motion. So what they do is they create 4 pose, extreme pose, and then based on rotation of this arm, it's going to blend between them to make it look good. So Danny made this awesome example today, really quick. So it's not really super pretty, but it is still awesome. So if I can ever find it, we have it somewhere. Okay. I'm gonna find it somewhere. Do you see any shoulder deformer somewhere?
Oh, a shoulder deformer? I don't know if it's in the content example.
Oh God, okay. No, it was there. I included it.
Oh. Okay, well then I believe you.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry.
So okay, so for the people asking at home, because a couple of people were asking in chat about documentation about this and where they can learn more about it. So there is in content examples for 414
It's not in content example, but let me just do this quick. So if you
Okay.
search RBF solver,
Okay, so if you search for RBF solver, hang on, bring that over here real
okay,
fast.
let me just do that. Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, she just
This is
searched
very
RBF
popular.
solver.
Yeah, this explains how the system works. But we are still a little beginner of this system, but it is a very cool way to use this system.
Oh yeah.
Well, this is way expensive. We are not doing that yet, but the idea is to support all of this like later. So you can blend based on their distance. You see, like
Whoa.
based on their distance.
Yeah, I've actually seen a game that is built around this, where you do two adjustments off of other shapes, and then it creates a relatively different shaped object.
Blend
and
between. Yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting. I didn't know that's how they were doing it.
So
It's definitely
I
for
think
advanced game mechanics.
It's a lot better. This one looks really cool. But if we show you just the example, is we have this thing called pose asset that Danny created for each of them has an extreme pose. I don't know if you can see this well. So this one is forward and that, and this one is backwards. So he added this thing on top of it to show the problem. Like, so it without this 4 different pose of it,
I see.
you are gonna go through lots of clipping.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So yeah, following the pauldron style, I guess it's like the shoulder armor.
Yeah.
And then yeah, like if you're playing any kind of game, you always see that where, you know, either the arm clips or it has to deform properly to it. And so this is a way of getting that good deformation.
Yeah, so that's basically the idea. So in here we have this thing called the pose driver, and there's animation that the changes the rotation of arm. So if you look at I'll show you this screen really soon. So it's hard to, I'm gonna slow down so people can see exactly how. This was really 5 minutes of making, so not really pretty. Not like a shipping quality, but you can see slowly it's blending to it, and maybe there's just some curve in and out. But if you look at this driver, you can see what rotation it's driving, and what's the option of. So it seems like the orienting to X and swing option is gonna blend this pose between.
Yeah.
So please go back to Twitch from James Golding and see what he talked about it, because it is very cool, and we have a more plan for this driver, so you can use a lot more elaborated way or more custom.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if his was the Anim Dynamics stream, but these are archived on YouTube also, the James Golding video she's talking about.
Yeah.
If you go onto the Unreal Engine YouTube channel, I'm sure that you can find it there. And I want to say that's either Anim Dynamics or...
I don't know if it was Anim Dynamics. It was just something to do with the 4.13. So.
It might have been the 413 like animation features.
Maybe, yeah.
reel,
I think it was one of them.
So
because
it might just have been that.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely check those out. They're really cool. James is awesome. Sorry we couldn't get him on the stream today, but he's a super busy guy with all the things he has to do. we appreciate it.
Okay, so that's the example. I don't know if we are gonna release this one because it was just test asset quick, but if you look at the release note, you'll also see some of the
bring that over to the right real fast.
I'm gonna find that if I can find that, but okay.
Yep.
Okay, so
Also check out the 414 release notes. They're awesome.
That they all have a great information. So if one of the demo he did was this one. I think the color. If I can find it in time before end of the world here. Okay. So it's this one. You see the so color changes based on the rotation of this data. Yeah. You
can see it's very useful for not just mechanics, but like animation stuff.
So it's very cool. So that's the one. The last one, I think it's the last one. So almost done. Okay, what's the last one? Yay, virtual bone. So now
the Fortnite guy falling flat on his face over and over again. I had to look at that GIF for hours while setting up these release notes.
It's so funny.
Yeah, just.
So why do we need this for? So it's kind of interesting. So we never really had a system you can add a joint in the tree, but you could add like socket. The virtual bone it's not skinned, so you didn't skin anything. It's more like IK bone or look at target or something that you wanna just to make extra joint, but you wanna change that to different kind of constraint. And I know it is a little confusing concept, but for example, you were doing prototype using certain hand IK. You're doing prototyping, and you noticed if we have a child of say like a wrist, and as that, and you're using it, and you notice that's not really working. So I want to change it to palm now. But that makes a lot of work because now you have to go Maya.
Yeah, you have to change it. You have to go back out, change the bone layout in the hand from wrist to palm.
And then you have to import all of the animation out of Maya. So it was a lot of work. So what we did was, that's not really too bad. So all we do is you can create the virtual joint in the editor. And if you create one, like for example here. So this is a little advanced topic. I don't think it's going to be very popular one, but you can say like in the skeleton tree, you can do like probably not this one, but say like you want to add a child of a hand to be like add a virtual bone, right? And it asks to pick the target bone, so you can do whatever the current joint to, but to avoid the so it depends what's your use case, but say like you want to do like left arm, so I want to constrain to that, and so you added this guy, and now you want to move it, say okay, and move here. So this is now whenever it's animating, the joint is it doesn't have any animation.
Go over to the animation.
Right.
There you go.
So you are gonna see in here this you pick the joint. It's gonna change based on if you look at it, it's a child of the hand, but it's gonna move whenever the left arm moves, because it's a constraint to the left arm now. So it's gonna move when left arm is moving. So it's a little weird, but so now you can use that in the animation node to say like in the anim node, before you couldn't do this before, but now look at, and then you can say like, okay, now I want look at the joint I made.
Yeah, so in there you can set the new bone you've created.
Yeah.
And so that just saves you a bunch of import-export pipeline hassle, where you're also going to have chances of having more errors happen, or a problem with exporting or importing.
Yeah.
So that's just one more little solution.
Yeah, so it's just a lot better way to work with it. It's not skinnable, so we don't really have a skinning feature in engine, so we don't really have that, but at least this way you can add a procedural joint quickly and remove, do stuff. So that's basically idea. So anyway, that's my end of talking. So yay! So all done.
So if anyone does want those PowerPoint notes, those are also on the forums, on our events forums. So I went on ahead and just put those on there. Actually, if you bring this over to the right real fast, can we hop back over here? So here's the events forum where we posted it. If you just scroll down, scroll up a little bit. Yeah, right there underneath all the links. See all those blue links? The last one there is download here. So if you want the PowerPoint, there it is. Awesome. So we have a couple of questions. I don't think we're going to have enough time to get to every single question that came in, but we're going to try to do our best, of course. Let's see here. Our first question is from Kashar. Might be a general one, but is there any way to assign an animation blueprint to a different skeleton after creation?
So no.
No.
So sorry.
Well, I mean, it kind of makes sense. There's a lot of data that's very specific to that, skeleton.
So the fundamental difficulty of our animation system is everything's built based on skeleton. But I'm gonna say a lot of case, if you could share the animation data, you really can share the same skeleton most of times. Unless their hierarchy is very different, only scenario that makes very hard is if you want to have a state that has an attack, and I want attack to do stuff, and I want to change all animation, you still can do that, but you might be able to do it without the same hierarchy data. So snake and rabbit can do share the same way,
Whoa.
which is
That'd be really difficult to get those animations to sync up. Okay.
no,
but
I know. So yeah, it is most of times if you think they can share animation, it's likely you can share their same skeleton fine. We have a good retargeting setup, so please check out the Fortnite Twitch stream from Laurent like long time ago about retargeting. But
Okay.
anyway,
was that on here about it, or was it on the Fortnite one? Because Fortnite also
no,
does
it was
something
here.
It was here.
I think
Okay.
because I was asking for retargeting.
Okay.
More about how
That's
we use
probably right.
retargeting. Also, content example has a good retargeting test case.
There's some pretty good examples in the actual content example thing.
Yeah,
and that's another thing too is if you're ever having struggles with something and you're not sure, maybe the documentation isn't very clear, check out content examples maps. You would be surprised the vast amount of information that's in there.
Yeah.
This animation stuff being yet one more thing.
Yeah, like I don't know if I can open this, but like we have this different mesh here.
Huh? What is this?
So I don't know if we can. So I think this was the example he made. So this is a different kind of
those
mesh.
various bulky and thin people. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
like a whole hallway full of these various body types.
Yeah, so you can here like pick which one is the small, medium, large. Like that's a large guy. They need a texture. But anyway, so yeah, we have good test the documentation on retargeting. So please check out. So you can see all of them using. I think this was an asset that Laurent used to show the IK, how the IK would work. Okay.
Okay, cool. So those are good ones for it. Let's see here. People are asking, of course, about documentation and things like that about these. There's a documentation coming for these new features, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
They are coming. I think soon, because I talked to somebody about the child anim montage. So I'm pretty sure we all have this process of going through it. I'm pretty sure they're very backed up because there are a lot of things to document.
Yeah, a lot of new stuff in 4.14.
Yeah.
That's always how it is. 100,000 things to document, and plus we have to do updates for a lot of stuff too.
Right.
It's a lot on that team, but yes, those are coming. We're not. I don't think that there's anything in the engine that there's not anticipated docs in the future for at some point. So, can the procedural bone be inserted between existing bones?
No.
It just
it's
creates a
only
new
lip
bone
node.
that creates like a new
It's on the
branch.
bottom. Yeah, the lip.
Yeah.
Node,
Okay, so it creates that. Let's see here. When using the post-process anims, do they move the body instances of the mesh? I would assume so, but wanted to confirm. And we talked about this a little bit earlier when we were talking about how collision works with these post-process effect animations.
Post-process graph is actually same as animation system. Like by default, animation runs and it updates to physics. So this is the same. It just runs after animation. The default one, the first one runs it, and then post-process goes in and update to physics. So it is the same. It doesn't matter. Only thing I was just saying is that this won't work if we want to apply after physics applies.
Okay, so it won't work if you want to apply after the physics are applied.
So like if we want to do ragdoll, then it's going to run before that ragdoll runs. So it is a little, that doesn't work. So it runs before physics, the real physics.
Okay, so it creates like the faked out looking physics just before the real physics kind of kick in and show up.
Then, and the real physics is gonna be like, screw you, I'm gonna overwrite.
Yeah, that's how real physics always is. Screw you, I'm physics.
Yeah, I'm physics. I can do anything.
And then gravity happens, which is terrible. All right, next question. Digital Dominus asks, what about edit animation clips directly in Unreal Editor? So yeah, that's it feels like even though we're never going to get 100% to completely editing your animations in the engine, we do like occasionally add in
we do
new
that.
features.
I mean, it's not really a lot anymore, but we have where did the window go? The window keeps disappearing. Sorry.
What?
I wanted to open this window, but it disappeared again.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's showing up on the other menu that you have. Probably hidden. I feel like I can see it. That's not it.
Here, I know.
Where did it
Sometimes
go?
they disappear.
Lina.
I have hard time finding windows.
Oh wait, try it. Just use the little icon down there. It's got to be.
Oh, okay. It's this
got to
guy.
be that one, right?
Okay.
There it is.
Oh my God, it's very hard.
Anyway.
Anyway.
There was just like a ton of little tabs. I'm sorry.
I know, sorry about that. But
There
like
you go.
I'm sure we have a documentation somewhere, but we have simple layer editing. So that allows you to add keys on the joint that you selected. So it's limited, but we still have some. So you can add here, and you can say here, I want to make this to be bigger or something like that. Then you can do. If I can ever select all of them. Oh God, never mind. Okay, I can only do one side.
Oh, it's
I want all of them at the same time, but
no, it's pretty funny. Okay, now we're in big head mode.
yeah, I know.
Madden 1996 edition.
So now, oh shoot, I did it backward. Damn it! I'm so sorry about that.
You keep
Just I know. I'm so sorry.
Lina with the potty mouth.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry, Clint. You're gonna have to put in so much work
I'm
into
sorry
this.
about that. I'm a terrible person. So anyway, so if you look at it, you can do stuff, and also you can like open the frames, and you can create the new asset. So we're slowly getting there, but not really a lot yet. So so you can create the new animation from left push, and that doesn't have anything, but you can open the frames. Say like I wanna open the 30 frames just because it's fun, and then now you can animate them like in that like, and I wanna say like I wanna just rotate because I can. Okay. And if you do that, then you can just do like very simple. But I know this is really not. It's all FK. There is no IK. So.
Okay. Alrighty. Next question then. Okay. How about blending animations in sequencer?
Oh, that's coming.
That's coming? Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool to know.
4.15. It's gonna come. Yeah.
Well, we're aiming for 4.15. I never, ever say it will be, because you never know.
Well, it works already. So.
It works already? It works already. Okay.
Well, it's not. I don't think we're gonna back out. So I think it's gonna make it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Sweet. So Lina promises it will be in there and it will
If
be
not,
working.
I'm gonna have to hide for 5 months. Disappeared.
But yeah, so that's coming. That's awesome. Alrighty. We've got a couple other questions coming in, but yeah, we're running a little short on time, everybody. Thank you so much for these questions, and feel free to go to forums.unrealengine.com and go to the events section, find this post here. It'll also be in the description on YouTube, and ask your questions there. And we can hopefully get back to them in a expedient amount of time.
Yeah. Just the one question I got a lot is the people are saying they don't see the material list and highlighting. But you still should have it, by the way.
Oh, is it under mesh?
Yeah, it should be in the mesh, which so far I cannot go there.
Oh, it must be open already somewhere
else. I know,
else.
but it doesn't show. Okay, so it should be here.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, under your LOD.
So anyway, I at least wanted to show. I'll answer everything else in the forum. There are a lot of questions about animation replication and some of the pose asset, procedural animation stuff. I'll answer that on the forum.
All right, cool. Well, I'm about to kick off the Game Jam theme, I guess, since that's going to be our last question about that stuff. Thank you all for your questions. Thank you so much, Lina. But could you do me one favor and bring that back over here to the monitor? And I think Clint has a thing ready to go. I'm going to hit Save Changes. Can you scroll up a little bit?
Oh, on the link?
And click on that December UE4jam link to the main screen.
December UE4, this guy?
Up one.
Oh, okay.
And that's the one.
Okay.
And whoop, there we go. So the theme for this month is Snowball Effect. Get out there, make your game. The theme is Snowball Effect. Jess Hyder picked out this one, and we just all thought it was fantastic the second we heard it. It's clearly going to build some great game mechanics around it. I know we're going to get a lot of stuff that's very wintry, and it feels appropriate for December, so that should be cool. So Snowball Effect, yes. I don't know. Lina, what would you do with that?
Oh, lots of snow.
Oh, yeah, that would be nice and cloudy.
I'm sorry.
You're gonna animate
enough.
that.
I'm not. Well, yeah, I want to animate the snowboard
You could
doing
make like a
stuff.
snowman. It'd be really
Yeah,
cute.
that would be very
I'd actually like to
cool.
see. I wonder
And
actually.
we do the floppy.
Yeah, you get like he's like melting, so he becomes floppier, and then
Yeah, it's like the whatever frozen.
Oh, Olaf from
Olaf.
Frozen. Yes.
Olaf, except like floppy arms everywhere. Sleepy.
Yeah, he's sleepy. It's okay. He's not dying from melting. He's sleeping. It's okay.
Yeah, and sun everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but that's it. Snowball effect. Go out there, have fun with it, and then come Monday morning 0 hour. That's when everything has to be in there and done. And also, if you plan on live streaming all the games. In the same way that Michael Aller did, and the way that Victor Burgos does now, JV the Wanderer sometimes does it. A lot of people do it. But if you're going to do that, let me know. I'd like to promote it and let people know to come check out your Twitch channel to watch you play our games. And to everyone who's participating, thank you so much for participating. This is going to be fun. And though I don't have any other special swag prizes for the month of December, as far as like Intel Nux or things like that go, I am going to super pack the swag box, and we're not going to use the little swag loot crates. I'm going to just get a big old box and put a whole bunch of the swag in there, because it's end of the year. I'm gonna have to order a whole bunch of new swag for 2017 anyway, so why not give it to people who deserve it, right? So
Me.
okay, I mean, if you think that you've earned it with all these cool new animation features that you've been putting together.
I don't know. I make Olaf.
You make Olaf. Okay, you make me an Olaf. I'll give you a bunch of swag.
Okay.
It'll be awesome. So that's the deal that we've worked out over here. You guys make me some cool snowball effect games, and she's gonna make me an Olaf, and then swag for everybody. It's gonna be so much fun. So yeah, that's the stream for the day. Lina, thank you so much for coming out here, putting together PowerPoint and talking about everything. I know it was a little bit short notice, but it was just awesome to see all the new features. I know everybody out there appreciates it. And to all of you at home, thank you for watching. We will see you again next Tuesday, where Ian and I will be shooting lasers through stuff and talking to you about why certain lasers are better than other lasers, or as we like to call them, line traces or raycasts or whatever. It's whatever you want to call them, but I like to think of them as lasers. So we'll see you all then. Thank you for coming. Till next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.